Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spin Rack. I'm here with my boy Petey. Say what's up, Petey.
What up?
Hey, we're talking about the premiere episode of Peacemaker. Hey, is John Cena all that we expected? Hey, what's your take on this, Petey?
Well, it's I don't know. I'm not sure since this is following the same thread as the movie, and if you watch the first episode, it gives you the story so far, showing you everything that happened in what's that thing in Suicide
Suicide Squad.
Squad? The Suicide Squad. So you get him. He's in the hospital. They fix him up. And a lot of the crash humor that you saw in the movie, but this time we're able to do some nudity in here.
Yeah, big time.
So
Movie was an R. This is a TVMA.
yeah, so there you go. It's on HBO, so you know it's going to be some stuff on there. But you know they have some characters in body outfits and other heroes. I still think the look of the vigilante is good, but at the same time, he is really too dorky to be Adrian Chase, right?
Big time.
So ultimately, you know, there's an irony to it because I think we have some shows where people go and complain, oh, they couldn't cast Amanda Waller as the comic because it's a fat black woman, and who they have a operative of Amanda Waller is a heavyset black woman, meaning that people are overweight. It's not a testament to any sort of racist thing. So they could have just cast her the right way rather than, and if you have an actress like the one you have here, or you have Retta, the other people of heavyset, you can't just say we got to throw out all the heavyset black women because we're afraid of a man. We're becoming the character of Mammy is the problem, not black women that are heavyset. But people can fall in line and say, "Oh, we had to fix it because she was the Amanda Waller was the female Nick Fury." So what was she was heavyset? That's not a Mammy role. No, we just don't want to see it. We want to see our totally in shape like the
Like
Angela
everybody
Bassett,
else.
huh?
Like everybody else.
Well, not every. That's the thing. Not everybody else. The guy in the fake, fake dye beard. That guy isn't in perfect shape. So it's like they have character. Melissa McCarthy. You have people that are heavy set that can be in roles, and it's not just you don't have to just write to it and say just you check the box. Fat black woman can't use it. It's like you lose a lot of talent that way.
Right, but don't forget that you also have another black character who's the leader of the group named Murn, right? Murn, which is a weird name for the guy, who's in charge of the group. It's just that the character played by what's his name, Abidayo Leota, I think her name. She is the mole for Waller in the show. Right? She's telling Waller what's going on. That's really her job to be telling Waller what's going on, which is an interesting thing in that you still have, like you said, the movie is still continuation. Waller's still involved and stuff like that. And I thought that was played pretty well, right? That actress is funny as heck. She's a comedian, clearly, a comedian, clearly. But the question is, does the show pass muster? Is it? I don't know. For me, I look at it and I think Beavis and Butthead. It may be a bad analogy, but it's like the humor is just so out there. It's so in your face. Some of the things that are there. It's like I'm not sure to say, yo, wow, this is great counter programming, or is it, man? I think they're just like totally destroying the superhero story, and that's been my biggest problem with the show so far. But then there are elements that the comedy sometimes it takes, and you're like, John Cena plays it straight. I can't knock him. He holds up the one who plays hardcore. I like her. I basically like most of the cast, but it's and the story seems intriguing, but the humor is like and then why did they have to make a TVMA? I mean, like, come on. Do they have to show sex and nudity? They didn't do that in the movie, The Suicide Squad. It didn't do as well as it should, but it seems more like James Gunn, that's the director of this
Yeah.
as well, or the guy behind this, as well as the Suicide Squad.
Wrote and directed at least the first episode. He's really doing the. I mean, he's gonna, however long it goes, he's gonna be tied to it because he's gonna be making money.
But you see, he's doing this but his day job is with Marvel, where he's doing Guardians of the
It
Galaxy.
wasn't when he first started this.
I know, but there's no. Well, we know he went back, but there's no way in heck Marvel will allow any of that stuff to happen. So this is like his alternate universe where I can't. I have to follow the Marvel machine to get paid and do this stuff. But here, DC's let me just do my own playground, And all I got to say, look what happened to the Suicide Squad movie. I thought there were definite elements that were pretty good, but there also
Well,
the elements
we
that are
don't have a
drawbacks.
great market for it. We don't know what it was, and
You don't know what.
we don't know if this weird market because of COVID, and don't throw in Spider-Man. That is not the thing to sort of say, hey, look, Spider-Man did 1 billion.
I'm
Everything
not
else,
using Spider-Man. I'm just
I'm
using.
just saying that there's a ton of other movies that didn't make this mark during this period. It
What
didn't.
I'm going to say, I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying at all, brother.
Just in case you say that.
you're you're a knucklehead, complete utter knucklehead. You know
Hold the show. I'll be right. Keep talking. Do not
what
stop
what
the show.
what I'm saying is, and I know you're going to agree with me because I'm right, is that when you have $185 million budget for a film, not counting any marketing or whatever, and you only make 167 worldwide, you got to start looking as to what's going on. Now, this was a day and date review, which means that DC dropped the movie at the exact same time. It came out in the movie theater for Suicide Squad, and it also came out in the on HBO Max, right? And I'm saying their approach in HBO Max, hey, we're gonna go for an R for this movie. We're gonna go for some gross comedy, like Beavis and Butthead. And yeah, it's supposed to work out. And the whole giant starfish villain. Oh, it's all cool. And I don't know how that translated well to this whole new also with the Peacemaker. There are elements of the Peacemaker that seem funny, but then you get grossed out by some of the humor and some of the stuff that they're doing. You're like, yeah, I'm not interested in that. So how far this is going to go, I'm going to definitely watch the first couple episodes. I'm going to give it the thumbs. I've already watched like 2 episodes.
First
And
couple episodes, there's 3 of them up already.
yeah, I said the right first two. So it's like it seems interesting. The production value is there. I do like many of the actors. I don't know where the story is going still so far with the butterfly that they want to do, but it's like, come on, man. I just feel that if you want to make it funny, make it funny. James Gunn has done that in um, um, Guardians of the Galaxy. Of course, he wants to make this a distinct property, two different groups. He wants to make the PG version with Guardians of the Galaxy, and the Suicide Squad is the hard R now with the Peacemaker and the X. I just don't know. But there are elements, like for example, the helmet having different versions of the helmet. His father being a sexist, racist bastard. Who's not who he's an idiot. We know who he is, who he has to deal with, and how he grew up, and so we even feel a little sympathetic for him. Because everybody's like, this guy's a joke, he's a knucklehead, but yet look at where he came from.
Well, our actor from T 2000, the T two
Yeah, T
thousand.
2000. I knew I saw him. Yeah, that's him. That's him.
He's always good. He was the shining parts of this thing was him. He was also in obviously the what's the name what's the thing that sci-fi show on Fox for Mulder and what's the name. But no, ultimately he's pretty always solid in the roles that he does. And the bird was pretty solid. The eagle, even though I think some of the scenes of the eagle is
CGI.
yeah, CGI, especially at the
Have to be.
table, because they had a table, and because the first scene with the hugging, obviously that's something they made up, and that was okay. But then when he's at the table and they're laughing about blood sport, and you see in the middle of the table is the bird, and the bird is yucking it up and looking both ways. I was like, all right, that was the thing that got me. There wasn't much that really got me in that way as far as humor, but that
Because
was
I have to agree with you with Eagly. That's what he calls his bird. There's a
easily.
whole joke like, oh, when you call your daughter daughtery, or you call your dog doggy.
I
So
didn't buy into that. They went too long on that gag.
they did, but it was funny. But I'm saying, but Eagly is literally a character in the show. I mean, he's sympathetic. He you can see him like he leans more towards him. It's crazy. That's to me, I like one of the things. I think that's definitely going to work out for him. But John Cena, I mean, overall, I gotta say, I thought it was going to be a complete utter fiasco, and I
It
am
was a
intrigued.
complete utter fiasco. That's what they're going for.
but I'm just saying in terms of but the humor is like, oh, I just can't. Some of these jokes to me just land like, you know. But John Cena does a decent job. You know, is the guy who thinks he has a, I don't know what you call it, not a fish out of water, but the guy who thinks he's right. You know,
Oh, he's supposed to be like it's the way it was in this Justice League comic, which was his General Glory, right? It was a man. They were doing Captain America, but the whole going with the classic ideals would seem kind of ridiculous to everybody else. So he's very patriotic, but then he has sort of the Chris Farley stupid, 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 and the father thing and all that other stuff to try to get you to, sort of feel for him, but at the same time, he's not, he's a because they introduce, all the sexuality in this. It's some of the people on the team, the the sexuality of that character, but then his character introducing like that he's going to be having sex on camera, regularly. So it's a thing where it's not, I don't know, it's a thing where they had a lot of stuff going on there for people who are into this sort of thing where it's just a lot of crash humor, and he's not really good at what he does. But I mean, it led to this big fight with him and the.
say it.
No, he's fighting. He wants to get with hard. Like the thing is, they get like the old school values. Guys couldn't just turn to someone and say, "Hey, you have perky breasts. Like let's. I need to let off some steam." Like you can. There's no time. Yeah, there'll be someone like at a bar being crash, but like someone trying to pick up somebody that way. I think they were kind of pushing it too far to like this guy is that backwards that he calls people sweet cheeks and all this other stuff, and it's like, okay, he says this, but then he's gonna use that same thing to try to get take someone home. But then they had a decent scene, right, where he looks over, someone else looks over, and then next he's banging the girl out. Like that's
Is she a girl? Is she a girl?
you're saying that it wasn't. It could be a creature or a monster, but it was a female version. But they had that. He's all happy and whatnot. And hey, have you watched the intro? I can't sit through the intro.
The intro is crazy because you basically have the whole team dancing a choreographed dance. I've never seen that. Like a whole minute goes by. You're like, what the hell am I watching? And it just the whole thing just makes you like, what the hell am I watching? There's just so much stuff on TV, and you're like, what am I watching? I'm just trying to get my. What are they? It's like part comedy, part mystery, superhero action, and it's like I don't know. I mean, there's so much of that. You have the boys, you have Invincible, you know, what's the name with Modoc. I mean, it's like there clearly is a market for that type of humor, that kind of anti-hero.
What, like Hero at Large with
With Beavis and
John
Butthead,
Ritter, like
Beavis
that
and
sort of
Butthead type of
thing?
thing. And so that's to me, I don't know if it really plays well with me, but I'm going to give it a little bit of a chance. You know, I mean, it's the same thing with Naomi. I'm giving that a little bit of a chance and seeing how that works. But it's like two diametrically different approach. She's playing it straight down the middle of the comic book, or TV comic book CW role, and here they're doing, hey, the boys are successful, so we're gonna do what the boys do it. You know, that's what I see. And if you're
Well,
wrong, if you don't agree with me, then I suggest you say something in the comments. Okay, Pete.
well, hold on before
If
you
not, I
close this
suggest that
thing
you,
out.
huh?
We close this thing out. Like, see, here's Perez doing the Peacemaker, right? And there's some oddities in the helmet and whatnot, but he's not trying to make it look smaller than the person's head, right? Because a lot of times he puts it on there, he's wearing it, and at weird times they already know his identity, but he's still wearing it to go to eat. There's just these weird things, comedy wise, that don't actually work for the show. That it's just trying to make fun of costuming when the Marvel people already show if you can do Spider-Man, you can do anything. There's
Right,
no costume you can't do if you don't put the right energy into it. And this,
right.
this thing is like, yes, he got the dove going down and whatnot. And at the same time, I'm gonna go. Let me get out of this for a second.
Remember, they did explain that his father is the one that makes the helmets, and the helmets have different abilities.
That was a good part of the show, saying he has all this setup and all this cool stuff. But then, of course, they're doing terrible things to him. Like, how do you come back from it? Right? He's a racist. He's a terrible person. Even when he has this moment where they're making fun of Bloodsport, he takes it out on his son. Oh, wow, that sort of thing. But at the same time, what happens? They take that out. He said, what's the name? It's going to fall on Peacemaker. So they put it all fall on his. They would make it fall on his father for him to make, to pay for the stuff he said, and to keep him in the show. Because rather than them put it to some stranger, they'll have all the stupid stuff happen to his father, and he gets a little, nudge. But then that leads to the next part of the story, right? Because you've seen when he goes to jail, right?
Yeah.
So it's like they set up a whole nother thing. How do you go to the next thing and it just leads to more story, right? Like they don't know that this is going to connect him to jail into a bigger network of things that's going on. But it works perfectly now. So I don't know.
I don't know. Probably you opened up my eyes. Probably I'm being a little too harsh for it. It's just a humor that's just like, ugh.
What did I say? I'm saying something that's positive, or am I saying?
No, with the whole thing with the jail and it connects, and I was thinking it seems like a just random thing somewhat to me. Probably missed that somehow.
It's too coincidental for them to put him in jail. Then like switch fingerprints. It's his father. His father goes to jail. Has a bigger network of people he's under control, right? But they didn't go soft shoot. I have to say that with that, and that's the thing. They didn't say like he goes there, he confronts a black kid. The black kid he shouldn't have even been in that area because that's not how it works. It's all white people around there, and he's gonna stand up because the guy's an old guy that he don't know. Did you get to see, since you said you didn't see the third one yet? Did you see the hint of who the character they added into the show?
No, who are you talking about? Adrian Chase?
I'm talking about the judo master.
Judo master. I saw a little bit.
Now you've seen the costume, right?
Yeah. You have the comic book costume? I don't know how
I have the comic book costume. Like, okay. Look at the top part here. This isn't the full outfit, but look at how they couldn't just leave well enough alone and do something just like that. They just had to play off of a small Asian person. I'm not saying it's a guy yet. I'm not sure yet.
It has to be a guy. Who else is
we don't know who it is. They know how they do these things.
Yeah, I saw it when dancing, and I saw I said that's probably going to be it because someone mentioned it, and I was like, yeah, that's probably going to be the dude. But yeah, it doesn't look anything like what you just showed me. So, hey, the same thing with the Eternals. The Eternals is like, I swear to God, it's like a shell game. Hey, we gave you the Eternals. See if you can find it. It's not the same Eternals that you expect.
Hey, what's the name? We have Cersei. No, that's not Cersei. That's Ajax.
So hey, we'll continue looking into this. Well, we may continue looking into this if people like what we're talking about. They do give us a thumbs up, subscribe, comment, spin rack,
or if we just want to talk about it.
Okay, spin rack.
Out.
Hey,
hold on.